So, hey everybody. In the interest of time, I'm just going to pass it right off to my team. I just wanted to say that I'm really proud of them. We've done some good work. We've kind of changed throughout the course of the project what we are, doing actively, like throughout the project. We've kind of changed a lot, and we've changed what we're doing. And I've noticed each and every member of the team has been organized, communicative, reliable, and adaptive with their work. So I just wanted to kind of say I'm proud of you guys. Yeah, I'll pass it to Ruth to kick off the demo.
Yeah, so our product is called EduSync, and our goal is to help teachers. We give teachers a summary of how each student in their class is doing, and we also give them actionable ways to help their students do better in their classes and have a better learning experience. So so by automating this, we give teachers more time to spend helping students with the problems that they need help with rather than spending a large amount of time researching each individual student and how they're doing in the class and talking to each individual student about how they can improve. So by making this process more efficient, this will help teachers also learn more about how AI can help in a classroom and how AI is not just something that they should be afraid of that might hurt the learning process, but it can also help in many ways. So now I'll be passing it off to Samson to demo our product.
I'll just do the demo here. Okay, you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, right here we have the home page for the login, and we can create accounts. You can register, write a username or whatever. For the purposes of this demo, I'll just use the one I've already created, where it's just my name. And then in the home page, we can see that we have students. We have, like, I've already created ones. I'll just create a new one, and I'll call the person Adam, I guess. Okay. And then inside we can click them, and then we can see that we can create works for them. So it has a title. So we could just say like assignment 1, and we can describe what the assignment is, or we can describe how they did on the assignment, and then give them the grade they got and whatever. And then we can save it. And then when we go back into it, it's saved as one of these, and we can edit it for later. So now for this demo, like I have a student called Bill, and we have this overall grade here, and I've made the grade 80. And then we have these 3 tests that I also put in. It's just dummy data for it. And then we can create an AI review. Because it takes a while for it to run, I've already done it on this other tab. And here, it makes this review. So a lot of text, but it makes a review of the student, how the teacher can help the student and what methods they can use. And there's a graph of all of the different tests that he did and the grades he got compared to the black line, which is a class average, which includes all the other students. Okay. I'll just, do you need to read anymore? Is it good?
Base bills overall, these resources can be found. Oh, this is cool. So it's coming up with suggestions on like what Bill's strengths are and like what his weaknesses are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good. Does anyone else?
Yeah, we can also just leave that on the screen while you guys kind of go over the learning journeys.
Okay. Well, for my learning journey, it was an amazing one. I learned a lot of new things along the way. But at the start, things started off slow because I joined the GI late and I had to catch up on things, but it all worked out in the end. First, we started with brainstorming ideas for the product and asking teachers about their opinions on what we were thinking. And then when we finally got an idea for a product, I went into the prompt engineering part. I learned that there was so much more to AI than just like the code and the output to the AI. Like there's the prompt engineering, which is a huge part of the AI. You need to get the right output for your AI. The prompt like really matters. And after doing the prompt engineering, I started helping with the back end where we use the Django framework. I'd never used Django before, so it was completely new for me, but I enjoy programming, so it wasn't much of a problem learning it. And one of the biggest things I learned during this GI was communication skills because I'm not very good at communicating, but as we like went through the GI, like I started talking to everyone a little bit more. So I learned all these skills and yeah, just learning all that stuff, it really helped me improve.
Hmm.
Gio, did you want to pass it off to Samson?
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, I'll just pass it on to Samson.
I would like to build off that. I also got a chance to work on the back end, and it was very interesting to see how that developed. And one of the biggest skills I had learned was we learned adaptability because we had to learn how to overcome changes in our product spec. For example, originally we were going to use a API through Canvas to fetch data. However, we had to learn not to use that due to the fact that that program cost a lot of money to test with, so we were unable to use that. It is very interesting to have to switch course of our project. As you saw in our demo, we had to figure out how to cache data in a way that was effective for teachers to use, and that was a very interesting process to overcome. Next would be Cal, if Cal would like to share what he has learned from this project.
I have learned a lot. I was mostly on the front end side of things, and it was really interesting to learn because I had done some front end before, but it's always a new product. It's always a fresh start when you're going onto a new project. Especially one thing that I did learn is I was a bit in my shell, and I think the whole team was really at the start of the GI. And so it's really nice to have a team that can really communicate and talk about what they did now. And I will pass it off to Shaylee.
Hi, I'm Shaylee, and this project has obviously been a very nice learning experience, and I'm really grateful to be a part of this journey and gather all these new skills. And so, for the first couple of weeks, I would say I was trying to figure out my role towards this team as a way, how I could utilize the skills I already have and apply them to this project and make it grow and make it be beneficial towards teachers. And so I sort of just bounced around and explored different aspects. So I first went into prompt engineering and explored that side, and then later on, the past couple weeks, went into front end and started designing. And I would say it's been a lot of fun. And I'll pass it off to Ruth.
Yeah, for me, this project was also a great learning experience, and I think one of the main things that I learned was communication. In the beginning of the project, we all had to talk to our teachers to try to figure out what type of product would be the most useful for them. So for me, that was a huge moment for me to come out of my shell and talk to people who I hadn't really gotten to know that well yet. And so then after that, I moved on toward trying to research what type of AI tool we should use. So I spent some time researching that between OpenAI and Llama 2. And then after that, I moved to prompt engineering, and I learned a lot more about how to best use AI to solve our problems rather than just guessing at it. And then after that, I moved to making some of the visualizations for the front end, including the graphs. So yeah, it was a great experience for me. I learned a lot about how to work in a team, and also I learned a bit more of the technical aspects. So yeah, I think it was good for all of us.
Yeah, I had a great time. I learned a lot about being a leader and working through creating a product from scratch. there's anything else I had to add, it was just that, what we were doing the first 5 weeks of the program and the second 5 weeks looked totally different. And like I said at the start of this demo, like everybody's adaptability and reliability has been really, really impressive. So yeah, thanks. If you have any questions, now's the time.
Okay, yeah, RevPlus or AI for Teachers 3 team.
So I wanted to chip in here as a client. Okay. So I first chipping as a client, and then I'm going to chip in as a AI Camp founder. Okay. So those are two different roles. So, as a client, like you guys already knew my feedback about this product, right? That is, I don't know, for example, teachers, I don't know, first of all, how the student data would get into here, right? Because it's like, if the student data is here and can generate these feedback and teachers can send it, like review it and send it to families, I think that's going to save them a ton of time, right? But the kind of problem is, how do you get the data in here in the first place, right? So to me, that's like a incomplete, part of the product, right? And so I encourage you also take this product, right? And talk to your teachers, right? And see, for example, if they would agree with my analysis here, or if they would disagree my analysis here, right? And if they agree, then what is the next step to kind of like getting data into here and automate some of the workflow that teachers have? And if you can persist and make this thing to be something really usable by teachers, I think that's where the real learning begins. I'm not gonna, okay, so now I'm gonna, as a founder of AI Camp, I'm gonna say this. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it for you. I'm not gonna, be another member in the echo chamber. Oh yeah, I learned a lot. Yeah, I'm sure you learn a lot. I'm sure. Yeah, because this is different from school, right? But I'm gonna point out a few things here that you can do better. Okay. All right. So first of all, and bear in mind, right? This is, gauged on the condition, right? That you only had a limited time, because we spent a lot of time trying to really figure out what the hell is going on, trying to figure out what kind of products we're going to do, right? That phase we call like wandering phase. That's like the most painful kind of phases for any person working on anything. So kudos to you getting through that. Okay, kudos to you getting through that. Now, the second thing, however, is that this product here, given the time that you have, let me just say the following. It's very ugly. It's not pretty. You see the sign up screen, you see all the login screen, you see the front page, no idea what is going on here. You guys feel that, right? So one thing here is, someone in your team, okay, if you're going to continue to do this, you need to get a proper designer, or whoever is designing this needs to upgrade their skill level. Second is, you don't need to use raw HTML, CSS, or JavaScript to get it here. Use the best practices you can find. Find shortcuts you can find, right? Maybe you don't need a website, right? So I think there's a lot of improvements this team can actually, get to, right? And as I said, maybe the Guided Internship is for you guys to start on this, right? But you are far from finished. I don't think you are finished if you want to get this product, to be the hands of real teachers, right? So that's my honest feedback as a client and as a founder at AI Camp. Okay, so let me hear your thoughts. Do you think that's fair? Do you think that's like helpful?
I think that's very fair and very helpful. Yeah. And, I guess maybe there are a couple of things that I can talk on. Like, if there was one thing that I would have wanted more from this project or course in general, I would have said like 2 more weeks. Because, just at, like, it was a push to finish this on time, like to the MVP sort of area where it's at right now. And in that sense, like, yeah, the front end got a little bit disorganized for sure. And there's some like nice to haves that we didn't fully get implemented. For example, an easier way for teachers to upload things. As I talked to a former teacher of mine from high school, and they suggested, what if we could just upload our gradebook as a CSV? So that's a really simple fix to the grade uploading issue. Say a teacher doesn't want to stay updated with like adding their gradebooks, their grades to the gradebook and to our website, then they could just take the gradebook and put it in, hopefully. So there are ideas for how we would want to go forward, and then obviously it's all static too, so we would need to deploy it. But
Good
yeah,
one.
so I
Good
mean,
one. Yeah.
there are things to be done, and hopefully they do get done too, because I want to see this product see the light of day, see some use.
Yeah, so I would say also, like, I want to echo what Jaden said, right? Jaden is one of the best communicator and upbeat and optimistic, like student, or not student anymore, but person of people that I have met, right? I think that's a well articulated kind of next steps. I also think it's beneficial for you to take this product, talk to the teachers that you already talked to, right? It's like, hey, we just built this. Hey, take a look. What do you think, right? And use their feedback, whatnot, to drive the next kind of phase. I definitely don't give, don't recommend you just give it all up. I think that's like doing yourself, like, I don't know, like, I like to close things, I like to close things, but you need to figure out a way, how you're gonna do this. It's not like, like you have all the time in the world to do this, right? So you could think about, finish this in the summer, for example, right? With the summer GI, right, that you can do it, So I think these are the things where, you probably want to think about how you're gonna finish it. Yeah. Any questions, any comments on what I said, especially from the student side? I want to hear your thoughts. Okay. And this team, I've been meeting with you guys for quite a few times. I sympathize with you, like, the struggle in the beginning, and then now you're putting all together. I know it's not easy, but I want to hear your thoughts. Yeah. At least 2 students you have to speak, just 2, not everyone.
I would agree with you. I would say the feedback was very helpful, and I feel that with the experience we gained from this one, we'd be able to go on again and then potentially even correct it. Because as we were talking about, the main pain point was that beginning brainstorming, and I feel with this project under our belts, that phase would be a lot easier to do, and we might even be able to flesh out an even better product.
Yeah. All right, good. One more. Any critical what we can do better, what the AI can do better, so you would have a bit easier time?
I think the ICANN did a great job, like Jaden being a great job as our lead, and I do really agree with your points that you have given. I think one of the biggest constraints was the time and how we only had 10 weeks to do it. And I think if ever we did have more time, this project could be a lot better.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, how about this? Now if you quit, you're still here, and we got this to this place. That says a lot about Jaden, says a lot about your characteristics, right? And we got to a point where, hey, there's a product, there's a concept, going from the wandering phase to this phase. That says a lot about you guys, right? Oh, look at this, great team photo.